I am so glad you are here. It's Liz with Magus Books and Herbs here in Minneapolis and at magusbooks.com, and it is alive. It is the Wednesday show. I'll be speaking in a little bit with Lon Milo Duquette, so I'm looking forward to that. But first, let's talk about what's happening, what's going on. We've got a whole bunch of classes coming up. So, first Saturday of this coming month of May, we have, of course, Herb 1. We're teaching that all day long. Before we even open the shop, the students and I will be there. We'll be going over a bunch of herbs and ailments, and it'll be a blast. If you are interested in signing up for year 1 for this fall in September, by all means, sign up. Registrations have already started, so grab your spot. It's always fun, and if you need a payment plan for the whole year-long course, those start in June so that you are paid in full by your first class in September. Other classes coming up, though, the Nooch, Nancy Antonucci's Tarot Lab. That is a by donation class on the second Sunday of the month at 3:30. The fabulous astrologer Adam will be with us for an astrology course the following Sunday. And on the fourth Sunday of the month, Chris, our fabulous palm reader, will be in to teach his class. There are about 4 classes in his series, so I totally recommend dropping in, seeing what you think. We had a blast this last Sunday with that class, absolutely killed it. People left so happy, so pleased with their experience in that class. You're going to get your palm read because he can't resist, so it's worth it just for that. Standing Stones will be here on the other Saturdays of the coming month. And of course, I'll be teaching Herbs 2 on Wednesday evenings and Herbs 3 on Tuesday evenings. So prerequisite for that is year 1 and then year 2. But that's the stuff that's coming up, except for one tiny little announcement I should make. And you might accuse me of burying the lead, it's true, but we are moving. I have signed the paperwork. I have handed over the deposit. We are moving up the road just a little bit. We'll still be on Central Avenue. We'll still be in Minneapolis. We'll still be in Northeast, but we will be at 2520 Central Avenue Northeast, just north of Lowry and Central on Central Avenue. So we'll be moving throughout the month of May. Really look forward to seeing you all at the grand opening. And for those of you who've been telling me you're volunteering to help, come out of the woodwork now and we will get things started. Looking forward to it. Going to do a walkthrough today with the handyman to see what changes we'll be making with the structures. Oh, so happy to be involved. So other than that, what am I wearing? Well, today, scarves from Jerry's importing business. I have a limited number of these because she has retired, but I do have a few bins left, so it should be fun for a while. And we just got in our jewelry order from Crystal Earth Studios. There's a beautiful labradorite and a beautiful moss agate. They also sent a whole bunch more fun little pendulums. This is labradorite with a little gemstone topper. Those are always fun. And this is just a fascinating and faceted rose quartz. So I love those. Come in, check out. People have already been noticing the new jewelry order come in and stuff's going. So come in and grab stuff. We've got a few things that we've come in from Llewellyn this week. The mini version of Murder of Crows is finally out. So if you are interested in picking up your copy of Murder of Crows, but you don't like the big decks, this is your opportunity. Also the mini of, and I think this is a fascinating deck, After Tarot. So this is the classic Pamela Coleman Smith artwork, but tweaked to see what would have happened or guess at what would have happened right after the person was finished with sitting for their portrait. So it's going to be a fun deck to look at. We also got in the newest release in the Llewellyn's Little Book series. This one's on numerology, and I've been talking about numerology in our divination series on Saturdays. So check out those on YouTube and Facebook. After they go live, I go ahead and repost them. So, and there should be some shorts up, but this is a fascinating, I would call it a foundational part of the occult, because if you understand numerology, astrology, tarot, so many things get a little bit easier to grasp in those early stages. Really good thing to just take a look at for a few hours even will make a difference, I promise. Etheric Magic has just come out. This one is by Ike Baker, and it's talking about elemental magic and introducing maybe a little more alchemical thinking to some people's magic. Really good way to stretch your magical practice is to look at the alchemical facets of it, because they're there in the background, even if you're not aware, kind of like the numerology. So it's a great read. And Planetary Magic. This one's by Sor Velchanes, I'm going to guess is how you say that, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll get to interview her too. But this is one that's going to take a really good look at astrology and how it can play into your magic, reinforce the energy you're working with, or detract from it. So it's a good read. It's a good reference to have. Now, the other books I have on my table to show off aren't because they've just arrived necessarily. They are, some have not. They are because they are books of the gentleman that I will be bringing onto the stream now. You gotta love these. Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Lon Milo Duquette. We're here for fun. And I understand you got, I do want to show everybody some of your old work so that they go, did you love the low magic? Did folks out there, did you love it? Yeah, I think that's a great approach to take. I think it's a good perspective. Angels, Gods, and Demons. And my favorite one to give to people who are curious but not committed, the Book of Ordinary Oracles. I think it's an adorable book with its own little oracles built right in where my finger is.
Do one.
Do one? Okay.
Give us an oracle.
Let's see, what have we got? I feel like Beatlemania now, because what I got was, love is all you need.
Oh. Well, let's just quit while we're ahead with that one.
But you have a new project coming out, correct?
Yes, and I've been working on it for about 3 years, and it's coming out officially on the 5th of May, but it's available right now, okay, and it's called The Tarot Architect. And subtitle, How to Become the Master Builder of Your Own Spiritual Temple. So it's like a full-blown tarot course that by the end of it, you have literally made your own tarot deck. And you've made it in such a way and in such an order that it mimics the stages of the creation of existence itself. So you're literally installing a whole tarot deck inside yourself and installing it in the same steps that the Kabbalistic Sefer Yetzirah says existence came into existence. And so you're just not starting at the beginning and and going linearly through the tarot. You're doing it just like the Kabbalah said, existence came into existence. So, and there's exercises and there's meditations, and you're literally obliged to color your own complete deck of tarot cards in that order. Let's see here. There's this. Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So many years ago, like in the early 70s, I took a correspondence course from the people at Builders of the Adytum, BOTA. And they provided a tableau of blank cards, of their own cards. They were sort of fashioned like the weight deck, okay? Only they were uncolored. And you were to take 2 weeks coloring those blank cards while you studied different exercises and things, understanding why you're using those color scales, becoming intimately familiar with every little detail. And I'm really lazy, okay? I hate studying stuff, okay? But I can sit down with colored pencils or colored pens and follow directions. Okay. Meanwhile, if you take even an hour with each tarot card, you're burning it in deep inside your own psyche, soul, if you will.
Yeah.
And if you couple that with doing them in the same order as they represent creation, like in the Sefer Yetzirah, you are literally building the house of cards, the house of the universe in yourself. And after you've gone through the whole thing, okay, you're not learning the tarot is teaching you. And if you've gone through the whole thing, at the end of it, you'll be a walking, talking, functioning, magical tarot deck yourself. So
That's amazing.
That's all I'm promising with
Yeah.
with this.
Nothing big. Nothing big.
Nothing big. So, and
So
you get to do your own, because we got 78 full size versions of this. Okay, and what so this is that, see,
perfect.
and
Yeah.
you learn how to do all of that. And I use my own deck, the Tarot of Ceremonial Magic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think BOTA would appreciate me using their images. This is the folks at Magical Omaha. I think you probably distribute
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. That's Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. So,
Yep, we've had that deck in. It has been fun to have. People have enjoyed it. I got to tell you, it's when it's here, it's a good seller. It really is. So the first thing that I think about when I think about that idea of I'm going to spend time coloring each of these things in and thinking in depth about them, I assume that part of that time will be spent reflecting on what it means to me and how I feel about it, how I react to it. So I would anticipate that some people are going to get stuck on a card or two at some point in their journey. They might need a little extra time to face the realities. Do you think that's a possibility?
yeah, you have to bring out the heavy ordnance and blast your way through a few of them. But that's the idea, because you're already a walking, talking example. You are a miniature working model of the cosmos.
Yeah.
Okay, and this process that I lay out in the book is to actually project your own structure of existence in a way that you can look at. You can it's like literally like a builder that has to true every stone that the builder places in the temple of their own existence, which is a reflection of the temple of existence itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like it's a big abstract spiritual subjective thing, but no. Like I say, I'm lazy. Let me just take the card one at a time, and that's the Hebrew letter. Oh, that's what the Hebrew letter means. That's okay. The Aleph, the fool, it just represents a line that just goes from the center of the primal point of existence and creates up and down. And you've got 2 hours at least while you're coloring that in to appreciate its its position in this grand drama comedy of creation itself. And so it's meant to be a transformative experience. And well, like Ed Wood, the director, film director Ed Wood, said about his horrible movie Plan 9 from Outer Space, he says, "This is the one they're going to remember me by." Well, this is my Plan 9 from Outer Space. Okay, so I'm hoping that it will last alongside with my understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. So,
absolutely. I I always think of those journeys that we take when we undertake to learn those things as being reflective of us as much as the new thing. So as it imprints on us, it also learns about us, figures out which cards it's going to put in front of us the most often.
well, you know, there are 12 of the court cards. There's 16 court cards in all, but the princesses or the pages are really kind of special because they're the thrones of the aces. They're like the bookends of the whole suit. But the 12 of them, the kings, the queens, and the princes, or like Crowley says, the knights, the queen, and the prince, each represent 30 degrees of the zodiac. But they're not zodiac signs. Because they're elemental, and elements like to mix. That's their job, to mix. And so those 12 astrological court cards represent 20 degrees of one sign to 20 degrees of another. And let me just see here just for a second. Maybe I can even show you what I'm talking about. I know I'm taking up your time. So let's see. And okay. Here we go. Okay. You see the dates and stuff on that card?
Yeah.
So this is the Prince of Discs. And that also represents being heir of Earth. It's also a I Ching hexagram, and there's the I Ching hexagram that card represents, and the I Ching divinatory meanings in the back of this book too. Okay, nice. And there's all that elemental stuff. You see this little tattva symbol there? Mm-hmm. That will be a blue dot in a yellow square. That's the tattva symbol of heir of Earth. Okay, and you color that in. You also use that tattva symbol as an astral projection device. You know how you put the tattva under a light, and then move your eyes to a neutral finish, and you see the ghost image. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you project into that ghost image and actually make a magical visionary experience of what the world of that Prince of Discs is. I hate court cards in tarot readings. They're so, does this have anything to do with the black horse? You don't know what to make of them. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just go into the world, the magical world of the Prince of Discs, and find out exactly what it means to you and you alone, with your own vocabulary of images, what is meaningful to you, not just something you read in a book.
Right.
So you can use even the tattva symbols on these cards to project into the magical environment that card actually represents. Because if it doesn't mean anything to you, why are you doing this stuff?
Exactly. Exactly. And it's one thing to take some time and learn and get information from lots of reference materials, lots of books. These books all come with booklets. These decks all come with a little booklet of instruction, and that's wonderful. But I do think there's that moment where you need to jump off of all of that knowledge that came before and dive into your own interpretation of these things.
Yeah,
And I think that that's where the real readings begin to me.
yeah. And the tarot, because it is constructed along these pure Kabbalistic, almost mathematical
Yeah.
structure, it seems to drag out of you natural psychic abilities,
Yeah.
and you should immediately get comfortable with trusting your own psychic abilities as you are step by step attuning with the music of the spheres, I guess you could say, that the tarot represents. So
Absolutely. Yeah. You get that big spread in front of you of all those cards, and it has to sing. Ultimately, it has to be music to your ears, to your psyche, or you're not going to read. It's just how it is, I think.
and it's got to be worth $20, you know.
Exactly. It's the perfect course for that.
It's
Now, as long as they're picking up that book in a week or two in our new location, by the way,
okay.
2520 Central Avenue, Northeast Minneapolis. Fit that in whenever I can. Which of the other books that you've written do you most get response from folks? What do people come up to you and really get excited to talk with you about?
Chicken Kabbalah.
Hands down.
Chicken Kabbalah and Son of Chicken Kabbalah, and understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot.
Yep. Oh, you know what? We probably have that too, and I didn't grab it.
Yeah.
Come get it, guys. Yeah, I've got to agree with most of your fans because I have my magical students read a book on Kabbalah. I don't tell them which one, but I do spend a lot of time doing this.
Well, good. Thank you.
Well, and what I tell them is that I view these two books in particular as an incredibly good introduction to the subject. These are easy reads. These are breezy to get through. Your sense of humor I find your sense of humor is generally in a lot of your work. And I think in this one in particular, it's lovely. And because it doesn't take itself too seriously, no one's going to get put off by the, oh, you think you're so important, don't you vibe of some of the later books in Kabbalah they might pick up.
Yes, I had to invent my own rabbi. Okay, so I could quote the authority that is me.
That's the perfect way to do it. Just a little tongue in cheek, and I think it goes a huge, long way.
This guy was a genius.
It's not a bad way to go. You get to be two people. You're not the first. There were composers of ancient Europe who were four authors. That's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. So yeah, now I'm doing redoing a couple of books with a new publisher, Homemade Magic, which was initially published by Llewellyn. I've just the publisher Schiffer that does the beautiful, almost coffee table type, wonderful, beautiful art and things.
They really do, yeah.
Is doing Homemade Magic and my novel, Accidental Christ. And so right now I'm working on those two things and getting ready for my 50th anniversary at the OTO National Convention in July.
Well, that's fantastic. Where is the convention this year?
Portland.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you've got to travel in July, Portland's a good location to be in.
Well, I haven't, since the pandemic, I completely shut down my travel.
Oh,
Um,
sure.
and as a matter of fact, I was stuck for a while in Bogota, Colombia, coming back from Chile because they've grounded flights and
Yeah.
and haven't done any international travel since then. And just a few months ago, I did an Enochian 3-day Enochian workshop in Joshua Tree,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
California.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
oh wow! Under the stars, we had telescopes and stuff. But anyway, but I drove down. Somebody, a good friend, drove me down, and I'm going to drive to Portland too. So it's when it's that close, when you add up how many hours you spend getting ready and going to the airport and all the uncertainty of the airport, you could let's just get in the car and go there. So that's.
It sounds more comfortable.
I think so, yeah. And if somebody else is doing the driving and I'm just sitting there eating snacks.
That sounds perfect. I don't know if you can see the comments. Jamie said, congrats on 50 years.
Oh,
And also said, like I said, I am lazy. Best quote I've ever heard in my life.
well, it's true. I'm the laziest guy. I work so hard at trying to avoid working.
Well, and I think coloring is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
I also love that you're advocating coloring as a man, only because there was a time before coloring became a really popular pastime where I would look at some of my herbal clients and I would go, I need you to find a fidget for the evening. I need you to have a physical unwind. I don't care if you take up crocheting. I don't care, what it is, but I need you to pick up a thing. The easiest thing you can pick up is coloring. And the number of male clients who would come back for their next appointment and go, don't tell anyone. I really like coloring.
I do
So
too.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart for my male clients who were like, I didn't think I was allowed to like coloring.
Well, it's kind of ironic because I did the line drawings, okay,
Oh,
of the cards, okay, in a funky way with a copy machine at work and transparencies because I'm not an artist. But I said, I told Constance, who is a wonderful artist, I said, look, Rick and I are going to drive to Miami and I'm going to try to pitch the cards to U.S. games. This was back in 1990 or something. Okay. And I said, but they're not colored. Can you color them in 3 days or how many is that a day? Well, it's a lot, and but I gave her the color charts, for each card. Okay,
Mhm.
planetary, zodiacal, elemental, they all have colors, and like this would be Venus in Cancer. Okay, so you can't use any colors except that, And so I gave her those charts, those color charts, which are in the new book now too. And then she turned that into that. Okay. Because it's a 2, there's the gray in the background. Okay. And let's see, here would be that. Just 10 cups. Okay. To that.
Nice.
Okay. And then she's got.
That's amazing.
Okay. And so she did all of the coloring, everything that I tell everybody to do with the new book. I didn't even do myself for the the published deck. But anyway,
You
that's
ran a test of your instructions.
that's that's right. So, but anyway, yeah, I couldn't have done a good a job as she, because there's
I
one of my,
understand the shading is just gorgeous on it. Yeah.
and there's the so and so you will if you read the book, you will be obliged to put in all of the your own version of the gushing fountain like things in the background and everything else, and you'll know exactly how to color the Enochian squares, and you'll become familiar with the Goetic spirits that go with this decan, and the angels of the Shemhampferish that go with this decan.
Wow.
So
So it's a deck worth spending some time with.
yes, yes, I say.
So it was the mid 1970s when you joined the OTO, correct?
1975, yes.
Okay. So what got you from your music career, so to say, circa 1970 to 1975 and the OTO?
Um, uh, tarot cards. I got in the early 70s, I got the Thoth Tarot. Okay. And because I was taking the BOTA lessons, okay, I joined the Rosicrucians, Rosicrucian Order Amorc, and that's where I discovered I like dressing up in robes and strutting around in the dark, and that got me sort of interested in basic Kabbalah and the BOTA tarot cards. And so when I saw that beautiful Rose Cross image on the back of the Thoth Tarot box, and I bought the Thoth Tarot cards, and that's where I was first heard about Aleister Crowley. And my brother had an old paperback edition of the Book of Thoth, and so he loaned that to me. And at first, Crowley just freaked me out because I didn't read anything by him. I just read what other people said about him, that he ate babies and things like that. Oh no, I don't.
Yeah,
But
the controversial Aleister Crowley, yes.
And so I wasn't going to be into anything like that. But when I read the Book of Thoth, I said, "Oh, this guy's brilliant." I don't understand 99%, but the 1% I do understand, this guy's great.
Yeah.
And there was a post office box address of the OTO. And at the time, I didn't know the OTO was just like the 6 old surviving members from Crowley's day. Okay, maybe 5. So it wasn't really an organization except, in a sense, old Crowley OTO veterans trying to keep the OTO alive and perhaps even resurrect it.
Mm.
And their first act was to publish these cards with that post office box address. So I wrote the post office box and wrote stupid, mystical sounding adolescent. Okay, kind of see how mystical I am, And they didn't answer. Nobody answered. I wrote 3 times, and finally
Wow.
finally they say, "We don't know who you are," And it was Phyllis Seckler that was Phyllis Seckler McMurtry, who was uh, answering my mail, and she's a wonderful astrologer. So I had to send my astrological information and stuff so she could draw up my chart to make sure I wasn't a mass murderer or some kind. And finally, after it was well over 2 years going back and forth, then they finally said, well, you'll have to come up to Dublin, California. And I didn't know that it was only these guys. I thought that was big golden door and, thousands of members and stuff. But I went up and got initiated in November of 75. And that's where I learned how small the organization really was, and that if I wanted to get a bigger experience out of the OTO, I was going to have to help build it myself, be part of that effort. And so that's 50 years. Yeah.
So quite the span. You've watched it really grow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been quite an adventure, and it's grown to be, arguably the largest overtly magical order in the world, and and it's in what 20 countries or something like that now.
That's amazing. Yeah, we have members call all the time, so we love it. I will not, sadly, have your new book until we've moved, because believe it or not, even though we're only moving a few blocks, I'm avoiding ordering boxes of books, wax, and rocks.
And water beds. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
So, but we will have your new books in soon, I'm happy to say. And I realized I forgot, because I know some people always ask, what are we drinking today? Today I am drinking a lovely blend of burdock, eleuthero, faux tea, and a couple other herbs. Lemon balm went in here, rhodiola went in here. You never know what I'm going to grab and drink off the herb wall. But I notice we're wrapping up. We're almost completely out of time. So I wanted to thank you so much and remind everybody, come Low Magic, Crowley's Tarot book, all these wonderful pieces. They'll be here for you. And maybe one of these, and the new one, which you'll find at our new location. Because why? I'm going to put in a massive order with those guys as soon as I am not needing to lug them another 6 blocks.
It'll be good summer reading.
Yes, excellent summer reading. A wonderful way to go with your personal studies, too. In the meantime, I hope if you are ever back in Minneapolis or St. Paul that we get to see you, let folks know you're here. But in the meantime, have a wonderful trip. Enjoy your 50th anniversary. And maybe we'll see you again on here. And everybody watching here, go to the Facebook page and watch there, because that's next, right?
Yes, I'm not even going to get up off my chair. Switch over to Facebook, and then they can see it every day a few hours later on YouTube. So
excellent. We've had more positive comments about beautiful work that you've done, and that your artist on your colorist on your deck has done, and just being excited about everything going on with your career and all the books and all of the wonder and all of the amazing stuff. So thank you. And I know we got to go, folks, but blessed be everybody. And thanks again for stopping by and chatting.